I'm from a time that I didn't even used to know who was on the phone until I answered the shit. I remember I was 12 years old and the teacher wheeled a television set into the classroom. You remember these days? And she turned it on to one of 3 channels and she said, class, the space shuttle is taking off and we're all gonna watch it take off. Man, that shit was going great for like 3 to 5 minutes. It fucking exploded. Right on television. Everybody on board. Dead. Immediately presumed dead. For a guy your age wouldn't even know the pain because in your generation, it's like the space shuttle blows up every fucking day. How can you care about anything when you know every goddamn thing? I'm getting over one cop shooting, and then another one happens, and then another one happens, and another one happens. I'm crying about Paris, and then Brussels happens. I can't keep track of all this shit, so you just give the fuck up. I used to watch a fucking cartoon when I was growing up called the Care Bears. It was about a fucking group of teddy bear people. They were like teddy bears, but they were like people, and they were all different colors, and they all fucking just walked around caring. They cared about each other and everything else. And when shit got real bad, as nice as those teddy bears were, they didn't get mean faces. They got determined. And the leader would say, come on guys, it's time for the Care Bear Stare. Remember that shit? And them little teddy bears would lock arms and stare at the problem. And I'm not even bullshitting. Actual love would shoot out of their chest and would dispel anything that was fucked up. And when we grew up, we wanted to be like those bears. And then we got our hearts broken. So we found out that life wasn't gonna let us do that. And that it's impossible to shoot love out of your chest. However, I have shot love onto somebody's chest before.
So here's what I love about that. Dave Chappelle, in that one clip, he touches on so many important things. There's an intergenerational divide that he touches on. There's a technological divide. The ways technology has changed us as a society, as a species. The internet, information overload, processing trauma and violence, and the normalization of violence through just knowing that it exists all over the place all the time. He talks about the Care Bears. He comments on the disappointment that we all eventually feel when you grow up and you realize how flawed and unfair things are and how limited we are in our capacity to fix the shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then he ends it with ejaculating on someone's chest. You know what I mean? And so all this like highbrow, interesting commentary followed with that, it reminds me of one of my favorite musical artists ever. One day maybe we'll do a podcast about her, Lauryn Hill, and this rhyme that she says. And even after all my logic and my theory, I add a motherfucker so you ignorant niggas hear me. And she's saying, look, I have this ability to weave dense, complicated socio-political, observations, and I can also hit you with something to just kind of make you laugh or make you enjoy the music, and it doesn't have to be so deep. And I love that. And that's a rare talent.
Yeah, there's no, man, that was so well summarized. Some of the many talents that Dave Chappelle puts on display regularly beyond most of his contemporaries, or maybe all of them. And definitely the layers you've mentioned, the idea to work in multiple punchlines, in the sense like to use a hip hop analogy, like there's basic hip hop rhyming schemes, where it's like A B B A B B, and you're just kind of rhyming that way. And then there's more complex ones that have like internal rhymes within the lines and blah 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 different things. So Dave Chappelle is working at that higher level artistry, working in multiple layers, multiple punchlines, setting you up. Sometimes his setups, when you go back, you're like, it's like with rap, sometimes you'll hear somebody will like mispronounce a word slightly on one line, and it's because so that it will rhyme with the next line. And so like the equivalent of that in this one is if you're actually imagining the Care Bears as I was, because like Dave, I grew up watching the Care Bears, and the Care Bears shoot love out of their bellies. as I remember it. So when he was like, they shoot love out of their chest, I was like, wait, what? Like, he seems to have such a good recollection of the characters, but then no, they definitely shot it out of their bellies.
Yes.
And then you realize, right, okay, he's slightly, like, in the hip hop style, he's slightly mispronouncing that so that he can rhyme it at the end with coming on somebody's chest.
That's fantastic. That's exactly right.
You know, yeah. And no, but but you go with him because he's got you wanting to laugh, because he's helping you exercise these really horrible things. This is like gallows humor, right? Where you are making fun of things, you're allowing yourself to laugh at things that are really sad.